This is Bitcoin on Point, where I break down the market exactly as it is in real time so you can navigate the chaos. In this video, we're going to break down why Bitcoin's monthly uptrend has failed, where the next major supports are on the daily time frame, and how Ethereum is setting up a higher time frame trade idea. If this video helps you make sense of the market, make sure to like and subscribe. My Telegram also provides all my trade ideas, entries, and executions, and the link is in the description. Now, before we go into the charts, let's quickly zoom out and look at the broader developing picture. Michael Saylor just said, Bitcoin could surge towards 180k, crash back to 140k, and that people would panic all over again. And this statement isn't about exact prices, right? It's about human behavior. Bitcoin doesn't move in straight lines. We know this. It moves in violent expansions and violent corrections. But every time it happens, short-term thinkers get shaken out. Now, at the same time, Grant Cardone has confirmed that Cardone Capital added more Bitcoin at 72k. And he said, for those wanting lower prices, now you have it. This isn't retail fear. This is capital positioning following through. Now, to add to that, the former president of PayPal just said Bitcoin rewards long-term thinkers and holders. And this goes back to our first macro development. Short-term thinkers get shaken out. Long-term holders gain the rewards. This is a consistent message that you keep hearing from people who've already seen multiple cycles. They're not new here. So again, this doesn't tell us what happens tomorrow, but it does tell us who is calm and who is emotional during this tough time. And that's why we let the structure in the charts and the levels lead, not the fear, not the headlines, and not the short-term noise. Now, starting with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame, for a very long time, a very, very long time, Bitcoin respected a clean uptrend. We had higher lows and higher highs forming again and again. But that structure has now failed. The previous higher low has been broken. The price has already traded cleanly below it. So at this point, it's very likely that the monthly candle close will be near or below this level, right? And this tells us something important. The higher time frame bullish structure is unfortunately no longer intact. And we can also see that price previously moved up into the fair value gap. And that was around 95k, but it tapped into it and then it sold off aggressively, right? So once the support failed, the price didn't hesitate to continue lower. And from the monthly alone, we don't know where price will stop, right? So that's why we now drop into the lower time frame. Now, let's move to Bitcoin on the weekly. The weekly trend line, which had been providing support for a very long time, has now also been broken. And that was right around the $90,000 level, right? Now, below the current price, we do have a major weekly order block and support, and that sits roughly between 60 and 70k. It's an extremely important zone. Why? Because this is where Bitcoin previously spent a long time consolidating in the past. And that was before pushing into a stronger expansion higher. So it tells us that buyers in this region were not emotional. They were actually intentional. So from here, there's two broad scenarios that exist. When price enters the weekly order block, if it draws down into it, it could react strongly and attempt to change the structure or reverse it back upwards, right? If that reaction fails, price could move even lower towards the next deeper order block. And I've marked that second block realistically between 60 to 50k, right? And that's where I think demand is most likely to show up if we do fall back any further. So for now, the weekly bias is clear. We are trading towards higher time frame demand, higher time frame support. Now, a quick note before we go into the daily. All my trades are tracked on Profits Precision, and every real-time update happens in my Telegram. YouTube is here for the structure, but Telegram is where I execute everything live. Make sure you go and check it out. The links are in the description. All right, with that in mind, let's dive into the daily. Now, I've marked 4 key levels here, right? And these levels are definitely not random by any means. Each level represents either a bullish order block or a historical support zone from the past. And these levels sit at 69k, 63k, 58k, and 52k. Now, each one creates a separate but similar scenario. And that's where I expect price, if dipping into these zones, to react and find support before actually reacting. Now, where am I looking? Which sort of scenario? Well, because of how far price has already fallen, the highest probability scenarios right now are scenario 2 and 3. And instead of actually guessing the bottoms, I'm going to let price potentially enter these zones and then watch how it behaves, right? So reaction matters more than the level itself here. Now, with that in mind, let's move over to Ethereum, because Ethereum on the weekly is taking liquidity from a very important weekly low, and that was around $2,000. This isn't a minor low, right? This was the base in the past that led to a massive expansion. Similarly to Bitcoin, ETH is coming back to a key level of support, right? And it ultimately led to new all-time highs in the past. So around this sort of level, I've also marked a major weekly order block, and that's at 1.8K. And this zone does matter a lot because it's where large players have accumulated before. It's where demand previously stepped in, and it's where a real higher time frame reaction is likely to occur. So again, similar to Bitcoin, the two paths that exist here, Ethereum can continue lower directly to the weekly order block, where we then look for opportunity, or it can sort of rally up first, convincing many traders that the move is over before eventually rotating back down into the exact same demand, right? So the market is still showing significant bearish signals. So if it is going to move higher again, it makes the most sense for the move to originate from the strong order block below at 1.8K, right? Not necessarily from a shallow retracement. Now, with that in mind, it brings us over to Ethereum on the daily. Now, this is the fun part, right? It's where the trade idea actually comes from. So what I'm actually looking for here is a very specific type of behavior for ETH. At the moment, we've got tight consolidation, and each candle opening is below the previous close, right? So this isn't strength, it's actually controlled weakness. And because of that, the most likely path is a continuation into the weekly order block. So that's where the actual trade idea exists. It's important to note, I'm not buying blindly into this zone. My plan is simple. I let price enter the weekly order block, wait for the structural confirmation there, and then that's only when I'll look for the longs, right? But until that confirmation exists, it remains a trade idea, not a trade. Patience matters, and we just simply have to wait. Now, why not a better time for a quick trading challenge update? Because this is where the real execution matters, right? So far, our challenge has been very controlled. We've taken 4 trades, and all 4 of them have closed green, and that's even in this high volatility environment, right? So the focus has been very simple for us. We're protecting the capital first and letting the structure do the work. So right now, the account is up around near $678, which is roughly 6.7%. And we've had 0 losing trades so far. Every single trade, entries, exits, stop movements, the risk, the performance, whatever it is fully tracked on this Profits Precision platform. It's an exquisite platform for tracking all of the important data, right? And I also use Weeks Exchange because they have clean order fills, fast execution, and reliability when the markets are moving fast. And then to top it all off, everything in regards to the trading aspect is shared live in my Telegram. That's where the magic happens. All of the links are in the description. So if this video has helped you break down and make sense of the market, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, smash that alarm bell. And if you want more of these calm, structure-based analysis instead of emotional noise, head over to Telegram. We note it down day in, day out for free, guys. You can keep up with all of the magic there. I hope you've enjoyed the content. Until next time, take care. Peace out.